Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving into a rapidly developing story that is causing ripples across the globe. The interception of a massive aid flotilla bound for Gaza and the simultaneous escalation of military actions in the region. This is a complex situation with significant humanitarian and political implications. So let's break down what we know. Organizers of the aid flotilla have reported that Israeli forces have intercepted a staggering 39 civilian vessels attempting to deliver essential supplies to Gaza. As of our latest update, only a single ship continues its journey toward the Strip. But there are serious concerns that it too will be stopped before it reaches its destination. Israeli officials have defended these actions, stating they are necessary to enforce the naval blockade and prevent potential weapons smuggling into the territory. This has been Israel's long-standing position, but the sheer scale of this interception is unprecedented. While the world's attention was on the seas, the situation on the ground in Gaza was also intensifying. Israeli forces launched a renewed offensive in Gaza City, with reports of airstrikes and ground incursions targeting what they describe as Hamas strongholds. Unfortunately, as is often the case in such dense urban environments, these operations have affected both military targets and civilian areas, adding to the already immense suffering of the local population. Meanwhile, the diplomatic track seems to be moving at a much slower pace. The U.S. brokered peace plan, which has been on the table for some time, is still under consideration by Hamas leadership. Sources suggest that internal divisions within the group are delaying a unified response, leaving the path to a potential ceasefire uncertain. This internal debate is a critical factor, as any lasting peace will require consensus from all parties involved. The interception of the flotilla has ignited a firestorm of protest, particularly in Europe. Italy has become a major flashpoint. The blocking of the global Sumad flotilla, which was part of the larger aid fleet, triggered a national strike and massive demonstrations across the country. Protesters in Rome, Naples, and Milan have accused the Italian government of being complicit in the interception by not taking a stronger stance against it. This sentiment is not isolated to Italy. Spain and Ireland have both issued strong condemnations of the blockade, labeling it a violation of international norms. In contrast, France and Germany have taken a more cautious approach, calling for restraint from all sides, but stopping short of directly condemning Israel's actions. This divergence highlights a growing rift within the European Union on how to address the conflict. Adding to the international pressure, United Nations agencies and numerous non-governmental organizations have unequivocally called the interception of humanitarian vessels a breach of international humanitarian law. They argue that with Gaza's population facing severe shortages of food, medicine, and fuel, blocking aid is not just a political act, but a direct contributor to a deepening humanitarian crisis. These organizations stress that the needs of civilians must be prioritized above all else. So, what does all of this mean for the bigger picture? First and foremost, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening by the day. The blockade, combined with the intensified military operations, is strangling the supply of essential goods, and the people of Gaza are paying the highest price. Access to basic necessities is becoming increasingly difficult, and the healthcare system is on the brink of collapse. From a strategic perspective, Israel's actions suggest a dual approach, applying maximum military pressure on Hamas, while simultaneously working to neutralize international solidarity efforts like the aid flotillas. By preventing these ships from reaching Gaza, Israel aims to control the narrative and the flow of goods into the territory. However, this strategy carries significant diplomatic risks. Internationally, the flotilla incident is exposing and deepening existing fault lines, especially within Europe. The continent is visibly divided. On one side, you have governments that are hesitant to criticize Israel, prioritizing diplomatic ties. On the other, you have a powerful and vocal movement of unions, activists, and citizens who are aligning strongly with the plight of Palestinian civilians. This growing divide could have long-term consequences for European foreign policy and its role as a mediator in the region. The situation remains incredibly fluid, and we will continue to monitor it closely. The fate of the last remaining aid ship, the response of the international community, and the ongoing military and diplomatic maneuvers will all shape what happens next. It's a critical moment that underscores the urgent need for a sustainable solution that protects civilian lives and upholds international law. Thank you for joining me for this important update. It's a lot to take in, and these conversations are never easy, but they are essential. If you found this breakdown helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more in-depth analysis of global events. Your support helps us continue to bring these stories to light. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.